Hey, random stranger, it's movie day today, and we're going to be watching Maquia, which has long been on my recommend list, and I have heard a bit of music from it. I know that it's set in this fantastically beautiful world, but that's pretty much it. So I'm really looking forward to what this movie is all about. You will need your own copy to follow along with, and here we go. Let's do this in three, two, one, play. Oh, that's beautiful. Old school looming. Okay. Okay, so not quite immortal, but live quite a long time. Like elves, I guess. Why not? It's so pretty. This world is looking too idyllic. I bet there's like deeper problems with it. I don't know. The music is beautiful as well, like the dominant use of the harp. Clan of Partings. Okay, so it must be like different kinds of clans who do have different like occupations. Man, it's like their buildings are like carved into stone. It just has such a timeless appearance like that. Where's her family? No. God, she's like an orphan. Mm. So they're like the remnants of like mythological beings. Now this sounds like that's not the whole story. I'm sure she believes what she's saying, this elder, but that may not be the only answer. It's kind of like it's the binding of tradition as rather than actual objective truth, if there is such a thing. Okay, the weaving of the hibiol is interesting. Just like it's better to sort of stay in this protected space where all the memories of past beings are with you than go out and sort of create your own memories and experiences. Oh, they're such teenagers. Oh boy, oh boy. Renato. Okay, but the clan of Honey, they do not seem at all like they're built for war or any sort of like conflict. Ugh, okay. Humans, eh? Red eye disease. Oh god, that's turned into a super stressful movie. Just sorry, suddenly. Is it fear? Is it fear that's driving the humans to capture these peace-loving people? Or not people, like beings? Oh my god, it's like internally combusting. Oh man. I do love how there was just that one moment, one brief moment of just beauty. Just looking out at the sun. She's like, wow, this is beautiful before everything comes crashing down. Those threads saved her. It's really deep symbolism in that. Mm. Oh, poor baby. So baby. Oh, man, the rest of the world outside of where the clan of Parting lives is just a shit show, isn't it? Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god, the sounds. Oh my god. This guy. Just observing. Doesn't feel obligated to help in any way, but he won't harm them either, so. Oh no, I can see where this is all going. She's gonna raise a human baby, and then the human baby is gonna outlive her. I mean, sorry, the other way around. She's gonna outlive the human baby. Oh god. Okay. Okay, so it seems like the Iorfians, they're just general knowledge, like everyone knows about them. Okay. So it mustn't have been hard to find them then. Ooh, nice shop. That guy's been through stuff. Just see the tattoos on his shoulder. They're such kind people. I wonder where the father is, like away at war or something. Uh, hmm. Renato's. Okay. So even if she's using like normal cloth, the stuff that she weaves, I guess, also has a special quality to it. It comes down to like the skills that she learned in Eye Off. This old lady bin knows. I mean, it was nice that she found this family, but it's like she doesn't quite feel like she's really a part of their family. She's kind of create her own. Sad. Mm. Oh God, what are they doing with the IOF people? Because it's wrong the way they've tied these like Renatos down. Kids be kids. Mm. Oh my God. Ugh. Forced like marriage. Oh no. Oh, oh my God. It's already sad, like knowing the dog died. It's just gonna be oh, a long, tragic road. And she's only now realizing that Ariel's gonna grow up and then die before she does. It's rough. It's rough for a kid to like realize that death exists for the first time. I mean, crying's good, but I get his intention. You gotta keep it together for your kid, man. That's rough. That's rough. I went with her. Yeah, he's fine. It's fine. Oh my God, that's probably the last time that they're gonna see that family. You can't love people outside. So they're there to be her envoy. Oh. Oh. Just preparing for this to go horribly wrong. So I'm assuming all the women, the Iorfian women that they took in the attack, they've all been married off to human rulers or nobles, which is awful. Like, just like collecting mythological beings to elevate themselves because they're just human. He's not happy. He knows something's up. It's just standing there. Oh no. Oh, well, that seemed fairly easy. Keep running, keep running. I've got too many hostages. Or they'll just wipe out everyone else if she doesn't return. Yeah. Oh. Oh. I just drop in, drop out. It's cool. It's not a completely neutral, like, outside party. He's on her side. uh, it just feels bad for all of them. You know when Lelia like aimed the dagger at her stomach? I'm like, does that mean that she was already pregnant? I don't know, it was weird. I guess that's the thrust of the teaching of you should never like love anyone outside of Ayoth. Because it's like eventually they'll die before you, and then you really feel the full weight of loneliness. Damn, it's rejected by our own peoples. Yeah, I wonder why she's not going back to the old place. Oh my god. Oh, that doesn't. I mean, this is so rough. Life of a single mom. Mm. Mm. They all just assume that she's just like this irresponsible, like teen mom. It's probably for the best. It didn't look like the best establishment. Oh, this is the pits. No, I mean, no one really knows what they're doing the first time they become a mom. Where did that elder go? Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, literally, your job as a mom is just to make sure your kid does not kill themselves. Oh my God. When Ariel's on his deathbed and Makia's next to him, he's gonna bring that line out again, isn't he? Moms don't cry. Then I'm just gonna be a blubbering mess. Okay. Just stay in the moment. Enjoy the moment. I guess the red disease like that infects the Renato. Maybe it's just like a side effect of being captured for so long. It's not their natural environment. Uh I think Lilia said something about like how they just suppress all their emotions that they're actually just naturally meant to express, and it just builds up and builds up until they explode. Just all men. What was that look from Ariel? Oh God. Oh, I hate this. I hate this. Oh my God, that has to be so awkward. God. Okay, so it's like you have to invent all these stories to keep up appearances of why your ages look so similar, but she's meant to be your mom, but that doesn't quite fit. Yeah. Oh no, he's joined the army. It's interesting that the time skips don't feel like very out of place. It's just kind of naturally progresses towards, well, baby, kid, teenager. Like moody teenager. That stage is where we're at right now. I think he's just dealing with the fact that his sister looks younger. I mean, his mum looks younger than him. And it's like, how do I explain this to my mates? And it's also like seeing his mum being treated, like how she's treated in the tavern. Mm. Oh yeah, it's that too. Like, oh man, that's gonna hurt. Last one. Oh no, still a couple more. Ugh. Like he really has come to care for her, even though he can do nothing about a terrible situation. She is like the Renate, she's gonna die. Mm. Oh, oh, he killed him. Did he kill Krim? Oh no. 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 Oh my God. She'd rather Maquia be like forced to marry the prince. So at least she'll be there at the palace with her. Oh God. And if I get it though. Like, ugh. Why? Well, yeah, I guess she is wanted by the king. He did always have a crush on her since they were kids. It must be weird though. Oh, it must be so weird for Ariel too if they ever like got together. Even if it was just for appearance's sake. That's also this is such a karate town. That's super industrialized. That's smog. Understandable. I'm gonna say stop me regrets. No. The answer is no. Oh no, 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 no. Just gonna work it out, work through this weirdness. I think he just wants to separate. You can't really blame him either. Like it is an unusual situation to have to deal with. And just like the pressure from everyone he knows in the town and his friends and stuff. He's gonna punch him. Oh yeah, that'll make him feel better. You're just like a baby. I guess he needs to do his own growing, like on his own, I guess. Before he feels confident enough that he can be a protector for his mom, I guess. Uh, I mean, she's got years. She can wait. We just wait until he grows up a bit. I also feel like all parents kind of go through this stage at some point with kids who grow up to be teenagers. Maybe not to this extreme because there's all this additional complex factors thrown into the mix, like her, you know, longevity, but something similar where teenagers just need to get out and go and explore the world a bit. But she's so good for like letting him go, you know. Like not all parents can let their kids go and trust that they'll come back because there's never any guarantee. No. They got her. What is this, like a daily procession? Oh, he joined the army. That person. Oh. What? She had a child? Ooh. He's got a bit of like envy hate. It's like if I'm suffering, you also have to suffer because we're all one suffering people. So what's she been doing all this whole time? She's just been kept in the cellar. She had a child as well? Damn, she's been in here for years. Yeah, I don't know if they meant like she's had a child physically or like she's gone through the emotional process of becoming a mother, which she has with Ariel. Oh wow, like he is actually literally going to be a father. I mean, Maquia can help take care of the grandkid. It's her. It just hit me. Dita. Amazing. Just marry your childhood friend. Oh no. Super dissonant chords. This is like the worst time to be having kids. Like wartime. Wait, so was it Bayera who captured Maquia? There's like another nation. Oh god, okay. Yep, great. Just the timing is always perfect. Mm-hmm. Like karma, isn't it? Mm. Man, they're all just all just jumping ship. All right. So really caught off guard. Oh man, this is old school combat. Ooh, she's gonna meet her daughter now. I guess he went to the other side. And then he like raised the other armies against Mazart. Crim. Because at least she's still alive. Yeah, I think he was a bit naive to think that they could just pick off from where they left things. There's just too much trauma has happened to Lilia. I mean, I don't think that's what she was wanting, Crim. I won't let you be alone. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is not love. You butthead. God. Oh my god. Where are you going, mate? Guess he's gonna die with a Renato. you gotta adapt to the times, even though it's really hard to. Like, I do have some amount of sympathy for him. It's her grandkid. This movie is just solidifying my strong belief that it is never good to live too long. It's so sad how he still won't refer to Maquia either by her name or as mom. Like he really is trying to distance himself from that part of his past. But here she is. It's like she's destined to always be involved in his life somehow. Whoa. Oh god. Oh man, bayonets. Ugh. Oh my god. Oh, she's gonna die. Oh, if he's dead. She called Maquia mom? Oh no, she said Didala's mom. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. He's still here. You are my mom too. Oh man, I feel so bad for Makia. It's like he has his own family now, and she's kind of like distancing herself. Like she doesn't feel part of his family either. Yeah. Mm. Oh, it's so sweet. As long as they're in each other's lives, I guess, like the labels, you know. Even though I'm sure it would mean a lot to her if he recognized her as his mom again. Come on. You just maybe you say that a bit louder. Come on. Wait, no, what? Where are you going? Oh, no. Man, I get it though. Because it's like she because she doesn't age, it's like she doesn't want to keep uprooting them because they're gonna have to explain, like, well, what's this lady doing here that doesn't age? So I guess if that's her act of love, it's like letting them, you know, live their family life without her sort of being the reason why they keep having to uproot their lives. And that's sacrifice. Never met Prince Hazel. That's weird. And she survived. Oh, oh my God. Like, damn, Maquia. What the frick? Oh my God. You gotta feel bad for the kid though. Oh God, I really hope she can make peace with that. Like, she is such a good person, whoever raised her. Like, she's gonna deal with potential abandonment issues, right? But it seems like she kind of understands the kind of life that her mom has had to lead for so many years. But it's also kind of right that they never really belonged in this world. Like, And it's so appropriate that they took the last remaining Renato back home. I mean, if even Lelia can say that, that's pretty amazing, despite all the pain that she went through. Don't drop it. It's Maquia, isn't it? I mean, yeah, I mean, he's the reason why he is like he is. Oh my god. She's just like out visiting. Eh? Oh, wait, that's the great grandkid. Oh god. Oh no, this is just gonna be just painful. What the cloth? Wait, did she? Oh, it's his coat. Oh no, at the montage. Oh God. Okay. Oh God. Okay. I'm dead. He's still there. I guess so. It's not all pain, even though it feels like it. Mm. Isn't that just what this whole movie has been about? Like, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Oh. Oh man. You guys doing okay? Because I'm not. Ah. And just one of those movies that packs in a lot of tragic events and moments, but also a lot of beautiful ones too. I do sort of separate out the tragedy that was present throughout Maquia into two different categories in my mind, though. Like, the first is like the unnecessary human inflicted greed driven tragedies, exemplified in how the Mazat nation treated the Eof people. Their actions, like their attack on the Eorphians, was driven by like greed and a desire for power and to entrench themselves in a position of dominance, which led to all this violence and, let's call it for what it is, like sexual assault and rape, that served no other purpose except to, cause pain and to like maintain their power. So, like the forced marriage and like the captivity of Lelia, for example, was like particularly horrific and awful because it's just entirely based on um, human cruelty and just the objectification of the Eorf people. So that's like the first type of tragedy that I felt we saw play out. But then in contrast, there's like the second type of tragedy of just what happens when time passes and like the inevitable separation of people, like the separation between Maquia and Ariel. And it's a tragedy that is really bittersweet, but it's also contains lots of beauty in it. The relationship is so meaningful precisely because the time they have is temporary and limited. Every moment that Maquia got with Ariel, it carried this weight because, well, she knew and he knew eventually that their time together is finite. And it kind of just reflects this fundamental tragedy and also beauty at the same time, truth about human relationships. Their transient nature is what makes them more precious. To me, like Marcus suggests that while we should fight against the first type of tragedy, because it's, preventable and wrong. Like no one needs like war and violence and just the objectification of an entire race of people. But the second type of tragedy we should learn to embrace as an essential part of what makes life and love beautiful. So, like Maki's choice to raise Ariel, even knowing that she would outlive him, shows that the joy of that love, no matter how temporary, is worth all that pain and the loss that is going to come at the end. Yeah. It's so beautiful. I'm just so drained right now. So, a couple of quick thoughts before we go, and I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. One of the things in Maquia that hit pretty hard was when the elder said to Maquia that once she loved someone, that she'd be truly alone, which kind of sounds weird to begin with, but I think it was a warning, a wise warning said out of love. It was a warning that an immortal who ends up loving a mortal will carry a grief that will never subside, never fade. So we saw Makia feel two different kinds of loneliness, at least that's how I saw it. The first type is the simple loneliness that she felt living with the clan of parting versus like the deeper loneliness that she would experience after having become a mother to Ariel. And it's the difference between never having experienced something and sort of feeling like there's something missing versus like having experienced something and then living forever with that acute knowledge of its absence when you've lost it. The whole movie kind of hinges on, well, which kind of loneliness is better or worse to experience. And I feel like in Maquia, the way that the story progressed, it seemed to both validate and to challenge the elder's warning. So yes, loving Ariel did lead to moments of extreme loneliness for Maquia, especially when he went through that confused teenage phase of rejecting her as his mum. And then at the end, when Ariel passed away. But I feel like the underlying message was that even so, the experience of having loved was worth all that pain, that it's much better to have experienced the loneliness of having lost than the initial loneliness that Maquia was having at the start. So maybe the elder was right about the pain of love, but kind of wrong about her advice to therefore avoid love altogether. Maquia's story showed that by embracing that pain, accepting the temporary nature of human connections, that can lead to a life that is vastly more meaningful, even if it is also more painful. I thought the Renato served as an interesting representation of the emotional themes of the story. So they were originally these wild, free, mythical creatures that were then captured by human beings to be used as weapons of war. So, like the Eorphians, they're ancient creatures that have become entangled with human civilization to their detriment, and like it almost destroyed them. And what was sad was that this red disease that they would inevitably succumb to, it caused like their bodies to literally burn up from the inside. And it was really a physical manifestation of all of their suppressed emotions and rage and suffering. So it was this very powerful symbol of the danger of suppressing emotions and like the cost of being forced to deny your true nature. It made me think of like how a lot of people today suffer psychological harm from having to suppress parts or all of their identity due to societal pressures or discrimination or cultural expectations. People are sometimes forced to hide their gender identity, their sexuality, their cultural backgrounds, or any aspect of their true beliefs. And that can actually destroy people from the inside out. It's cruel and ultimately destructive to not just the individual person, but to society as a whole. That last scene with Maquia and Lelia escaping on the last living Renato was a beautiful, complex, bittersweet moment because I think it represented both an escape but also an acceptance. So while they were leaving behind the immediate dangers and the pain of the human world, they were also acknowledging that they have been irreversibly changed by their time in it. Maquia will always be a mom and will always carry the joy and the pain of raising Ariel. Lelia will always carry the traumas of her time in the royal family, but she also really seemed to have this appreciation for the beauty of this world. I think that scene tied back beautifully to the film's core message about the relationship between immortals and mortal beings. So while these different kinds of existence can touch and influence and profoundly affect each other, they ultimately have to go their own separate ways. Let's talk about the hibiol. It was this special cloth that the Eorphians wove. It's like they're literal timekeepers who preserve the events of history and the emotions and memories into a physical form. So I think on a symbolic level, I felt like it represented humanity's attempts to capture and preserve moments of time, knowing that they're fleeting, that you can't stop time. It's like how we take photos at these significant moments in our lives, or we tell stories and write them down so that people can read about our experiences. You know, these are all ways that we try to give our lives some sort of grander narrative and meaning. At the beginning, we were told that the Eorphians weave hibiol away from the humans and have done so for hundreds of years. So it raises these interesting questions about the value of being an observer that's distant from events versus being an active participant in life. So the Eorphians traditionally maintain distance to record time and events objectively, I guess. But Maquia's story suggests that there is value in actually stepping away from being just an observer of life to then fully engage in it, even if that comes with, again, a lot of pain. It was cute when younger Ariel tried to weave his own hibiol as a sign of his love to Maquia. And he kind of messed it up, but he still got the message across. That scene, I think, was particularly heartbreaking because it captured like this beautiful complexity that is in their relationship. When Maquia found all those tangled hibiol threads, I don't think her frustrated reaction was really about the mess itself, but about all of the challenges and the contradictions in her and Ariel's unusual mother son bond. On one level, I think the tangled threads are like this perfect metaphor for the nature of their relationship. It's messy, it's sometimes very difficult, but more meaningful in its imperfection than like the neat, sort of distant threads of traditional hibiol weaving. Ariel's attempt to weave a hibiol came from a place of pure love. It was a kid trying to understand and to like participate in what his mom does. At the same time, the messy attempt served as a sort of, again, another visual representation of the gap between him and his mom. You know, he can never truly take on her Eorphian nature, even as she can never really be a typical human mother. When Magia initially reacted with anger, I had huge sympathy for her. Like, how could she not? It showed a very human, relatable moment of just parental frustration, parental imperfection. You know, she's not perfect. She's not an eternally patient mother, but someone who is struggling with real emotions and challenges and the weight of an overwhelming, difficult wartime situation. I couldn't help but notice these clear, coincidental connections between the messages in Maquia and one of my favorite poems ever, William Blake's Auguries of Innocence, especially this part. Man was made for joy and woe, and when this we rightly know, through the world we safely go. Joy and woe are woven fine, a clothing for the soul divine. Under every grief and pine runs a joy with silken twine. Man was made for joy and woe, when applied to this movie, I think speaks to Makia's discovery that truly living means accepting both happiness and pain as these two inseparable parts of the human experience. Joy and woe are woven fine, a clothing for the soul divine. Resonates a lot given the significance of the hibiol like weaving. Blake here is suggesting that joy and sorrow are woven together to create something special, something sacred, kind of like how Makia's experiences of both, you know, motherly joy and grief made her a more complete, more divine being in the sense of being more fully alive. Under every grief and pine runs a joy with silken twine. And that is just like this perfect articulation of the bittersweet nature of Makia's love for Ariel. You know, under the grief of knowing that she'll outlive him runs the joy of having this really rich relationship with him. Also, under the pain of watching him grow distant from her at times, ran the joy of seeing him grow into and become his own person and start his own family. So even in their final separation, there was joy in her having loved someone so much. I think a big question at the forefront of people's minds after having finished this movie would be like, why did Maquia choose to leave Ariel in the end, despite him wanting her to stay? So I think in leaving Ariel, Maquia was carrying out one final act of love. First, it was sort of done in protection of Ariel. As long as she was in his life, he could never really move forward with his own family and his own future. They would have to constantly move towns to avoid, like, you know, questions about her appearance. And her immortality, I guess, would be a constant reminder of the almost impossible situation. Secondly, I think it showed her acceptance of just the natural way things will always be between immortals and mortals. Unlike the Mazart kingdom that tried to forcibly like bind immortal and mortal beings together with devastating consequences, Maquia understood that true love sometimes means letting go. Lastly, I think it really showed her personal growth. You know, at the start of the movie, she Yes, she became Ariel's mom because he was this helpless wartime orphan, but also because she was desperately lonely and she needed someone to cling to. But as time went on, she also grew into someone strong enough to let him go out of love. Like she'd learned that being a mother sometimes means making painful choices for the sake of your child's well-being. So that final parting scene, I think it was sad, but also particularly um, profound because both Maquia and Ariel, I think, understood that it was the best choice to say goodbye, even though it hurt so much. But when she left, I guess the comforting thing is that it wasn't abandonment so much as a completion. She'd given him everything that he'd needed to live a full, independent life. She taught him kindness and being responsible. That is always the ultimate goal of motherhood, and she'd achieved that. So I think, yeah, even though it was sad, it was like this, okay, my job is done. Go and have a great, awesome, wonderful life. And he did. I'm going to shill William Blake one more time. But honestly, there's just this another uncanny connection to this concept of letting go as an act of love in his poetry. So this one was Eternity, and it's short and sweet. He who binds to himself a joy does the winged life destroy. But he who kisses the joy as it flies lives in eternity's sunrise. As I was reading that, I was like, just had that last scene in my head with Maquia and Lelia flying off into the sun with the Renato. Blake's poem and Maquia's story, I think both make the same point that any attempt to force joy to become permanent or to bind it actually destroys what makes it so precious. So going back to the image of the Renato carrying Maquia and Lelia away, it becomes doubly symbolic. So just as that last Renato survived by somehow maintaining its essential nature despite humanity's attempts to bind it, to lock it down, Maquia also preserved the true beauty of her love for Ariel by letting it take its natural course rather than trying to force it to be permanent, which is never a good thing when you have an immortal and immortal being in the equation. So she didn't try ultimately to bind her joy with Ariel to herself forever, which would only cause pain for both of them. Instead, she literally took flight. You know, she kissed the joy as it flies by accepting that her and Ariel's paths have to diverge. The visual poetry of her ascending into the sky on the back of a Renato captured both the pain and the beauty of accepting that fact. She was choosing to live in eternity's sunrise by fully embracing both her love for Ariel and the necessity of their separation. So yeah, that final scene, it just beautifully brought together several visual and thematic elements in the show. I loved Maquia. I thought it added fresh ways of looking at these common themes of like loving and letting go and both the beauty and the pain of temporary human connection that we so often see in literature and art. And it was just a beautiful movie as well, like artistically, even though I'm not an art person. The music, I will comment on the music though. It was soundtracked so well that you kind of get sucked into this whole other world and you're really feeling all of the emotions that the characters are feeling with every scene. So yeah, I mean, what more could you want from a movie, really? Thank you so much for watching with me. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And yeah, again, let me know any other thoughts that you had about this movie because I would love to read them and just to learn